Have you ever heard the term silent divorce? The crazy thing is this is more common than you think, even in Christian marriages. Silent divorce is a state where a couple basically has grown apart and they essentially live together, but they've stopped sharing life together. They've stopped sharing the emotional bond. They've stopped connecting. They've stopped living those shared experiences. And essentially they're living like roommates. And it's a really, really tragic place to be. It's lonely. There's tension. There's not any joy. There's no fun. There's no laughter in the home anymore. And it's a tough place to be. It's a place a lot of Christians get to. A lot of people in the world get to this place as well. I'm Rachel, a transformational Christian marriage coach, and my husband Scott and I are the co-founders of Turnaround Marriage. And we've walked with hundreds of Christians who were stuck here in a silent divorce, and we've shown them how to break out of that, how to build a new foundation on the solid foundation of God's Word, and how to apply the principles of neuroscience and transformational coaching to think and feel and behave differently so that a new connection can grow. Here are some of the signs of a silent divorce. Number one is emotional distance. There is often a very big lack of emotional intimacy, which means there's a lack of meaningful conversations, there's a lack of shared activities, and there's this general sense of disconnect, right? Where you're living separate lives. You don't share your feelings, your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams anymore. It's mostly logistical conversation. Can you pick up the milk? What are we having for dinner? What are you doing tomorrow? What do the kids need? When are the grandkids coming over? And that lack of emotional connection is a very big warning sign that you could be in or headed to a silent divorce. Another sign of a silent divorce is you're essentially living like roommates. You might share bills and chores, but there's a general lack of teamwork. There's a lack of closeness. There's a lack of any romantic connection anymore. And it's a heartbreaking place to be. A lot of silent divorces also have a lack of conflict, ironically, where there's not a lot of arguing, there's not a lot of conflict and friction, there's just not even a lot of connection or talking at all. You're not even talking anymore. You're living separate lives. And so because of that, so many things have probably been pushed under the rug and things haven't been resolved for years and years. And so over time, there's been resentment growing, there's been bitterness or broken trust. And it's built and built and built until you maybe just have resigned yourself that this is just how we're going to live. So some of the signs of a silent divorce are reduced communication, where you're not talking about much of anything. There's very few meaningful conversations, and you're not really sharing anything personal anymore. There's also a lack of shared activities. You're not doing anything fun together. You're not spending time together doing anything. There's no shared interests or goals, and it's just living these separate lives under the same roof. Third, there's often emotional withdrawal, where one or both partners have just pulled their hearts away from their spouse. They don't share their feelings, they don't share their hearts anymore. There's no tenderness, warmth, or deep connection happening at a heart level. Loss of intimacy is also a big sign of a silent divorce. There's no spiritual intimacy, emotional intimacy, physical intimacy, or sexual intimacy. You've grown apart. It's turned into a sexless marriage where you're just coexisting. What ends up happening is you're living separate lives. Sometimes you get to the point where you're not even eating together anymore. You're not going to bed at the same time anymore. You're not even sleeping in the same bed anymore. You're not doing anything together anymore. And that's a very alarming place to be for your marriage, especially if you don't share the same friendships, your circles are different, and you have totally different routines. Why would people live like this, right? Why would they live this way? For some, they've just gotten to that hopeless place. They think that nothing will change. Maybe you've tried going to counseling or therapy and you've gone to a few sessions and started to talk about your problems and came home and nothing got better. Maybe it even got worse. And so you just gave up on it before you saw any change in your marriage. And you just think, well, there's nothing else that we can do. What else can we do? Some of you, your vows mean something to you, very much so. You made those vows before God, before your friends and family, and you want to uphold those vows. You don't want to get divorced. For some of you, you're staying together for the sake of your children. You know the terrible impact that divorce could have on your children, and so you're trying to do the right thing. But I'm here to tell you, living in a state of silent divorce is also doing damage. So my encouragement to you, if you are sick and tired of living that way, where you're operating on different schedules, living these separate lives, basically living like roommates with a lack of emotional, physical, spiritual connection, and you're realizing there's got to be another way. I'm here to tell you there is another way. This is exactly why we designed Turnaround Marriage. It's a comprehensive program to help you get unstuck quickly. If you're sick of living this way and you're wondering, is there anything else we can try? Is there anything else we can do? We have found that when you go all in on our program, Turnaround Marriage, when Christians show up really coachable, really hungry, really deciding, you know what, enough is enough. It is so painful to live this way. We're willing to put the work in and build something new together. We have found that God can show up and do such incredible transformations in your heart and mind and soul. Our program is founded on the timeless biblical principles of how to do marriage God's way, where there's love and respect, where there's hearing and understanding, where there's selfless service to one another, where it's a beautiful picture of Christ and his church. And we show you how to uncover the roots of that deep resentment that has grown and how to pull those roots out so that something new can grow. And the other thing about our program is it's incredibly powerful because it has practical application with actionable steps. Because when you can change how you're feeling and how you're thinking, then behavior can change. Then new habits can form, and then a new connection can grow. And we have found that when you can learn to change your heart and mind first, everything can change quickly. So to see if this is a good fit for you, I'm encouraging you to go to turnaroundmarriage.live. Check out our free masterclass, the 5 shifts Christian couples can make to get a complete turnaround in their marriage, to fall back in love again. Check that out at turnaroundmarriage.live. Check out that free training. If it resonates with you, book a call and let's explore if this is the answer that you've been praying for. Ron and Joanne are really glad they did. In fact, when they came to us, they were essentially living in this divorced state, this silent, emotionally divorced is how she called it. And what was so crazy was within a few weeks of them putting the work in and diving in and being super coachable, they have uncovered this beautiful new marriage now where there's joy, there's love, there's trust, there's teamwork, there's companionship, there's romance. All of it has come back and more. And it's because they were willing to put the work in and they didn't want to live in that emotional silence. They didn't want to live in that silent divorce state anymore. So if that's you, go to turnaroundmarriage.live, check out that free training, and then let's book a call and let's get to work and fix this.